Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're doing another one of these how I made this song kind of videos. I'm going to be talking about how I produced my song, Art in Heaven. I got a new upgrade and I'm really excited about this. Now, not only do we have this camera angle, but we also have this camera angle. How sick is that? Anyway, this song is really important to me. It came out on my EP called From the Little Hollow. That came out in March, I think it was March 22nd of this year, so a few months back. And this song was actually the first song I wrote on the project, but it took a long time to get right. It's a conversation about religion and some of the questions that I was having, and I found it really important to voice that correctly and to have the music reinforce those questions that I had. What I really wanted to focus on was this concept of art in heaven, and it started from, we're saying the Lord's Prayer. If you're familiar, it starts with, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. And I found that really interesting, thinking about art in heaven, like the idea, the concept of art. And I don't know what art looks like in heaven. In my perception of art is something that stems from contrast, from imperfections, from humanity, and to think of that in the context of a perfect place and somewhere where there's an absolute lack of sin or darkness or anything bad, how do you create art? And so that's what the song's about. And I wanted to match that musically, so every decision I was making musically was trying to contrast these elements of heavenliness, whether that be pianos and organs and like pretty sounds with like hip-hop drums and 808s, and that was everything that I was thinking about when I was producing this. So I knew that when I was going into writing it, and this was before I came to Nashville, before I came to Belmont, and my mom has this piano, this Yamaha piano in our living room, and I just started writing on that. This is the first song I ever wrote on piano, and it stays the only song I know how to play on piano, and I kind of learned the piano to write the song. So I had some chords that I was playing with, and by the time I came to Belmont, when the song was starting to take shape, had some lyrics, had some chordal ideas, some melodies, I took it to my friend Sam Phillips. Sam Phillips is an incredibly accomplished, like almost jazzy piano player. He's incredible. We recorded his piano in his dorm room in Tall Hall of Belmont University, and it was just this like Yamaha keyboard, I think. I forget what brand it was. I think it was Yamaha. It was a keyboard, and it was just like one of the stock sounds from the keyboard, and I thought it was beautiful. This is what he gave me. And like fast forwarding to the end, it gets crazy. I wrote the chord progression that I wanted him to play, but then he went wild, dude. So that never gets old. And Sam's piano part is what I kind of built the rest of the production around. So then, well, also during that session, he also had the sub bass, and I explained to him the vision behind it, and he kind of perfectly encapsulated that with the sub. And so we added this like, I started chopping things up. Loved it. And then if I remember correctly, we also during that session added organs at Sam's place. Like, come on. So that was my starting point. That's where I kind of took it back to my studio and started playing with it. I added some other pretty elements to start with. I added some Rhodes, just to kind of chop things up and make them feel a little bit more, just a little bit more electronic, like electric piano. I loved that sound. That rocked. That's just like the Logic stock Rhodes, little electric piano kind of situation. I don't even think I even touched the preset. It's just what it is. Next, I had my friend Tessa come over, and she recorded some violins for me, and they were beautiful. And one of my favorite moments in the song actually is Tessa moments, where we did this track that was called the, like, whatever that was. Like, what a crazy run. It stays one of my favorite moments of the producing of the song. After that, so pianos, organs, Rhodes, violins, I think I tracked a couple guitars, like acoustic guitar things. That all happened freshman year, like first semester freshman year. Then I remember I took it back to my parents' farm in Kentucky, and during winter break freshman year, I kind of spent the entirety of that time programming drums and doing everything on my own basically, and taking this and starting to build it up. Plus I tracked some vocals there, started like recording some vocals. There's a whole nother session because this just got too big for just vocals that I'll walk you guys through in a minute. Let me show you the guitars first actually. Here's some other pretty elements. I do what we call the reversey. This is huge. I think I've talked about this before. Basically, play one chord, chop it up, each chord for the song, reverse them just for the duration of that chord, put some chorus and some reverb on it. Beautiful. I think the idea for this dotted eighth, or for this guitar part, was for it to have a dotted eighth on it and do like a U2 kind of sound, but I think I took the delay off because it was just too much. And then I recorded these acoustics still in my dorm, just for the second verse. Yeah, so I want to show you that before we got to winter break. It's a little disjointed, but whatever. Then we get to winter break. I'm in my parents' basement recording all, or just programming all of these drums. These are also really chopped up and messy, but basically we have, what am I even looking at? It's been a long time. Let's start with the kick drum. I took a sample of a kick drum and then I layered it with another sample of a kick drum, and yeah, super easy. I think I took this from Splice and the Dave Pensado kick topper. I think I ripped that off of a YouTube video that I was watching because I got super into like Dave Pensado's, like Pensado's Plays or something, the like YouTube channel. Awesome YouTube channel. I think I just screen recorded it and took the kick topper that he was using and put it in my session. Please don't get me in trouble. Then we had a snare. A lot of these are Splice samples that I chopped up. Again, would do this very differently now, but just a lot of noises and sounds. I was trying to be clever. Hold up. Here we go. A lot of times what I end up doing is I take hi-hats from drum loops, just chop out the hi-hats and get the feel of those hi-hats, and then layer them over top of my kick and snare patterns and sounds. And then I'm adding all kinds of different hi-hats and shakers and stuff. One thing that's kind of funny is at the time I was working for my church in Kentucky, and as part of that, this could also get me in trouble. As part of that agreement, I had access to all the multi-tracks from a lot of like the Christian records that they were playing in church, and I was going through and we did a cover of Chainbreaker by Zach Williams, which has some baller like shakers and tambourines and stuff, and I just took that because I realized it was in a similar tempo as my song that I was working on. I just took those files and I put them into my song, and it's awesome. It's just a shaker sound, it's nothing crazy. But later we get these like chains. Oh, claps. That's Zach Williams. I didn't make those sounds. Then another fun thing is in the second verse, I had this drum kit that my sister got for Christmas one year, like 5-10 years ago, and I just took the hi-hat and the snare into my room and I recorded some rim shots and I recorded some like hi-hats for the second verse, and this is what that sounds like, mixed with a Kenny Beats kick that I got from his sample pack. Kind of awesome. I think that's kind of cool. Another thing we did for the drums was the ending. I wanted it to go a little bit more like, I don't want to say trap, but like kind of trappy, kind of like 808s, Kenny Beats hi-hats, like rappy kind of drums, and with the like violins and the like, I don't know, piano, the pretty piano part and stuff like that. I wanted to really accentuate it because the outro is like musically the biggest moment, and it was after everything's been said, I want to say it again with music. That was the idea, and this is what we came up with. Nothing groundbreaking, just like hip-hop drums. And then added distortion to Sam's sub. Yeah, and with the pianos it sounds like this. And that reminds me, Tessa did the violins for the first half of the song, and then my friend Rocco, another legend. This is just stacked with people I love so dearly. Rocco made the like violin solo over top of that. Nuts. Crazy. One thing I forgot about the pianos was the intro was recorded in the Belmont Chapel, where we took like a voice memo of the chapel recording, and basically there was like a wedding that they were setting up for, so you get some of those like people moving around and sounds. This was just Sam, the same guy that did the piano for the rest of the song, playing like the intro in the chapel from a voice memo. Another fun little thing was this ba wah 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 kind of thing. I made it in Serum, and then it sounded cool, and I was like, that's going in the transition. Doesn't sound like much on its own, but in context, when the streets are perfect. That was kind of fun. This is my first time opening this in a long time, and yeah. Basically, I did a lot of vocals, I did a lot of tracking and retracking and everything, and that happened on the farm at my parents' house. The other half of it is my friend Elijah Mormon, one of the most talented and incredible people I've ever worked with. incredible vocalist. He came into my freshman year dorm room and we cranked it all out in like maybe an hour and a half, and his voice is like butter, dude. I'll show you my stuff first. Basically, it looks like we got our like main vocal that I tuned and then added some plugins on. I'll walk you through the vocal chain.
What will we sing about in a perfect place? How the hell?
So it looks like this EQ is doing nothing. Just like cutting out like anything below 20 hertz. A Pultec that doesn't want to open. Probably doing a little bit of EQ with that. I don't think at the time I don't think any of these plugins are gonna be opening for whatever reason. Sometimes when Logic Pro does this, I don't know why. EQ, more EQ, Soothe, which is a dynamic resonance suppressor, rocks. An LA2A for compression, still fairly standard for me, but since then I've updated my vocal chain to go 11-76 into an LA2A. Beautiful. Little Radiator, interesting. That's a like preamp, drivey kind of plugin. I like the way it sounds. Fresh Air, it's an exciter, and then another compressor after that. Probably wouldn't have made those decisions now, but here we are. Without any of this going on, it sounds like this.
Sing about in a perfect place. How the hell will I complain?
Put everything on.
What will we sing about in a perfect place? How the hell will I complain?
Not bad. Added some doubles to that.
Sing about in a perfect place. How the hell will I complain?
Then more doubles later in the song.
Holy architecture or remarks of your splendor that bring God's house.
Then some octaves. I was stacking this thing.
Holy architecture or remarks of your splendor that bring God's house down.
If you're not familiar with Little Altar Boy, you should be. It's not gonna open either. It's basically a pitch and formant shifter that you can mess up your voice and make it sound more granular, more fake, more robotic, whatever, and it's awesome.
Will we sing about in a perfect place? How the hell will I complain?
There's also the Logan choir that I added after Elijah.
Saw God in that church.
I'm just singing more doubles.
How much more grand wind divine?
Elijah did this.
Saw God in that church. Earthly mind, more grand when divine. Father, who art in heaven, have you a moment, for I have a question.
And then the outro, dude. Stupid. So yeah, then I took that acapella stem that we grabbed from that project and brought it back into here. And this is kind of what the song ends up sounding like.
Made of gold, will we sing of days of old? Will the memory fade? Is it holy architecture or remarks of your splendor that bring God's house down? Maybe it's choirs on bended knee, or something less pretty, like a garage band from my hometown. Oh, what I'd pay to find out.
Anyway, if you want to listen to the rest of it, it's on Spotify. That's all for now. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and yeah, thanks for watching.